of total spend on online, or should it be a few less percentages of spend on online and more online or more offline? Well, then the question I have is it the fork or the spoon? If I'm eating a meal, should I use the fork or the spoon? Well, it depends simply upon what food are you eating, right? If you're having soup, use a spoon. If you're having rice, use a fork, right? Similarly, on the internet, the basic question, or I mean in advertising and marketing, the question becomes, where are your customers? Right? Where are your customers? You cannot have a company manufacturing 5 rupee pens going and talking about, let me spend 5% of my advertising budget on the internet. You do not have your customers on the net. You can't have companies selling 500 rupee bicycles out there to say, okay, I'm spending 20 crores a year on advertising, let me spend 5% of that on the internet. Is it relevant? No, it's not relevant. It really boils down to, where are your customers? Today you've seen a lot of companies, and even when you talk about, okay, 8% spent online, okay, you have companies like eBay, Amazon, and the various .coms which are based on the internet. Their audiences are on the internet. They only survive and they only earn if the audiences are on the internet. They spend up to 95% of the revenues online, right? They actually spend 90 to 95% of the advertising budgets, online, right? The average works out to 8 to 10% in these developed countries. So it really doesn't matter. It's a matter of, where is your customer, right? Which is what the fundamental question really becomes. And now let's go back to the myths that we started with and look at them one at a time on how relevant are they really when it comes to talking about the fundamentals of advertising and marketing, right? First one was technology. That it's got to be technology driven, and it's very technology driven, it's very complex. Well, guess what? Today you have people who understand technology, right? India is the hub of outsourcing worldwide. There are enough people who've done ample work for international companies. They understand technology, right? There are companies who understand the tools available. But end of the day, when you talk about the fundamentals, it doesn't matter. The fundamentals are the same. It's a matter of, can you strategize? Do you know where the customers are? Can you find them? And how do you create strategies to reach out to your customers? Right? And I mean, even like, we'll come to the point at the end about skill sets anyways. That only works for lead-based campaigns. Like what we started in the beginning, that internet is good only if you spend X amount and you get certain leads or acquisitions or whatever basis of measurement you put together, right? Now I have a question here. Let's say Bharati puts up a board or a hoarding on a road outside. Can they ever go around figuring out what kind of customers and eyeballs did I get on that? Can they ever find out what kind of leads did they get? What kind of acquisitions did they get? What is the cost of conversions? It doesn't matter. They put it there because they have customers, prospective customers, who cross that road every day in thousands, right? Now, why will the same fundamental not apply on the internet, right? Today, if I am selling a product, let's say CDs and music, why will I not go and put my advertising on Orkut where, let's say, I see a big chunk of my target customers, right? So why is it only lead-based? Okay, fine, you can measure it. But why can't I put my display advertising there for the purpose of branding and positioning, if nothing else? Right? The fundamentals are the same. If my customers are online, well, I will go and put my boards online. If my customers are on search engines, well, I will use search engine optimization or paid search and get to my customers. Right? Even companies today are realizing it. They're spending hundreds and thousands of dollars, not on just lead-based, but even on branding, on creating awareness about the products and services, to interact more with customers. Take customers, bring them into their own environment, let them play games, let them run contests, give them a deeper understanding of the products, communicate with them, and it's all two-way communication, right? The borders are really merging. It doesn't matter if it is online or offline. Another point was demographics. Okay, online we have seen, okay, it is predominantly English speaking today. You do have a lot of young people, 93% are young, it's under 40 years old, right? There are still 40% to 60% from the top 20 metros in the country. But again, is that relevant? If you have a product which you can sell online, if you have your customers online, put your money on the internet. If you do not have your customers on the internet, do not. It just doesn't make any sense, right? So it has to be a combination of both. It is irrelevant whether, who exists online, who doesn't exist online, who's there, who's not there. Key question is your customer online? And focus on that fundamental, right? Stop looking at the world is doing. It's not a wishing well, you put in money and out comes a whole lot of business, right? It depends, do you have your customers online? Another thing is about, again, the huge debate which goes on constantly about digital agencies versus offline agencies. I was talking to the head of strategy for WPP a few days ago at the Digital Summit, and these guys are turning around annually about $4 billion in advertising spend. I mean, that's turnover of all the companies put together, right? Of that, 20% is digital. And these are not traditionally focused digital agencies, right? A lot of them might be, but a lot of them are not. And they're actually encouraging their companies to also see that digital is something you've got to embrace. It is something which is a part of what you've got to do. It is a part of the solution that you take to your customers. Okay, you might have specialists who execute certain campaigns, right? But as a part of the whole thing, it is, end of the day, what does a customer want? Give him that, right? If you think that he can get more value out of his spends online, advise him on that, guide him on that. But it's not like a fixed rule that you've got to spend 8% of your spend on the internet. It holds absolutely no value. And okay, today there are a lot of companies. It just happened like that. A lot of startups came up. It is a new way of thinking. There are a lot of new companies that have started up who are very, very focused on the digital space. But it doesn't matter. I mean, like, you know, it's not that they have to be different. They can also be the same. Okay? And that's happening as you go forward. And finally, the skills and experience needed for the two are different. Okay? Now, the key question here is that what do we really mean by skills and experience here? Okay? Two sides to it. One is the technology and the tools that we use. One side is the understanding of the fundamentals of marketing and advertising. They're two different things. Irrelevant of whether you're online or offline, irrelevant of what tools you use, what techniques you use, what technology you use, you still have to understand the basics. You've got to have a little bit of experience, I feel, in the area of advertising and marketing, right? So if you have people, let's say, who are joining fresh in the digital space, excellent. You will learn about marketing and advertising as well as the tools and technologies. But if you already have been a part of the offline industry, guess what? If you migrate, it is one thing less to learn, which is about advertising and marketing. Then it's just about new tools and technologies. And I would like to end it by saying that it certainly is an amazing space to be in. It's extremely dynamic. It is growing extremely fast. And there is a shortage of very good people. And like even Vivek had said before me, it is astronomical how fast people are growing in the digital space in short spans of time. What people take 7 to 8 years to get to in the traditional space, people are growing very fast. So it is a fact, whatever said and done. You know? But end of the day, the fundamentals really are the same. So guys, thank you. Big clap. So I'd like to, I guess, open the house for any questions. Yes, go ahead.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Harish spoke about the basics, understanding the basics of technology, but can you stress a bit more on what those basics are? When you say that you don't need to be a techie, a hardcore techie to do well in online marketing, but you need to have your basics well. So can you just elaborate a little more on those basics?
You know, what I meant was that, let's say, you know, if today we have to design the online strategy for the Tata 1 lakh rupee car, you know, how are my goals, my principles going to be different when I'm doing my, you know, split between my media spends between various mediums, or the objectives that I'm trying to achieve. You know, finally, if it's about communication, it's about, you know, it's about doing the right communication at the right time to the right person. Now, if that is the underlying basic, then how does it change between you know, internet being a medium, mobile being a medium, or print being a medium? You know, there's a wrong notion that everyone says technology. I don't understand technology. To me, I think TV as a technology is
you.